necessarily something that's new to us. We know that they like to ban Zed versus Zora Zero. You don't want to let him on it. Shen Elise, of course, standard ban. I might not be surprised if I see a Hecarim ban coming out here. And Sinner's Never Sleep actually won the last game, so now it's 1-1 now.
Yeah, it was obviously 1-0 due to the fact that they were late and forfeited the first game, but they did manage to pull the second game back that we were trying to watch, but unfortunately didn't quite work out for us. Either way, the current score is 1-1. And as you said, loads of bans have came out, and we do see NASA's picked up that from Fnatic.
First pick on the NAS. I mean, that's a very, very ballsy thing. They're saying, yeah, you're letting it open, we're gonna pick it up. But they leave Thresh open, so that's a little bit strange. I think that it seems that they prioritize Nasus jungle over the Thresh pick, or maybe they just don't like playing Thresh. But we're gonna see how this goes, because Thresh in the bot lane is pretty strong. Those Lantern ganks can set up an easy Volibear or Udyr gank right there, and that would make him really strong.
I'm trying to remember what the picks were last time before I spectator bugged. I believe that Fnatic actually picked Fizz, didn't they? So it'd be interesting to see if they do that again.
Yes, they did pick Fnatic in the last. Fnatic. Excuse me. Fnatic Hockey did pick up Fizz in the last game, and he went against Twisted Fate. I don't know how the game went, if he did well or he didn't do so well, but it seemed that it did not go well for them because they didn't end up winning.
Yeah, we also saw Sona last game, and it looks like they're going to be rinsing and repeating there alongside the Jace pick, which is quite interesting.
Actually, Rekkles has been playing a bot lane Jace lately, so this might be a bot lane Jace. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, because Sona Jace bot lane is pretty devastating if you ask me. The poke, the sustain, the all-in potential from this lane is just through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, the poke, you've got Jace poke, and then on top of that, Sona's just coming in with power chords here, there, and everywhere. So it's incredible amounts of poke damage and sustainable damage as well. It looks like Twitch is being thought about. I'm not sure if they'll lock that in against the Sona Jace potentially.
No, I mean the Nasus Wither is going to completely shut down Twitch's potential late game. So I would be expecting a Twitch. Most likely like to see a possible Graves MF, maybe Ezreal, someone who's not. Yeah, there's the Graves. Someone who's not necessarily reliant on attack speed. Someone who can still do damage if they get withered. And Graves and MF, they seem to be the best candidates for that.
Yeah, definitely. So they have locked in the Hecarim and Graves. So Hecarim with all kinds of engage, and also have Thresh's box to engage or disengage, depending on which way you want to kind of spin it, and Kha'Zix. And Kha'Zix is a very interesting pick here. I'm assuming it'll be Kha'Zix mid.
Could be a Kha'Zix mid, but I really like here is the combination of the Thresh and the Hecarim. Hecarim is going to be able to charge up his E, and people who didn't know about Hecarim's E is that it's based completely upon distance travel. If you guys listen to this really well, if he gets pulled by Lantern, it's going to add damage to his E. So you can imagine the amount of burst potential Nunya is going to do when he starts that charge going on, and he gets dragged by that Lantern. You can just see people just getting one shot.
Yeah, gonna be devastating damage coming out.
It's like the Civ HD video, the Sonic Boom, where he went Youmuu's Ghostblade and a couple of Phantom Dancers on Hecarim.
So it looks like Fnatic are just changing their mind here. I saw the pick there and switched to Ahri. They still have Malphite in. I'm not sure if these are going to get locked in yet. I think I'm a bit behind you. Ooh. There we go, the Malphite and Ahri picks.
Wow, the Kassadin and Kha'Zix pick is going to be so deadly in team fights. They're just going to run around focusing each other, like focusing key targets, focusing the squishy targets, and just picking up kills left and right.
So, where is Kha'Zix being played then? Because I assumed that Kassadin's going to be mid, so Kha'Zix top?
Yeah, it will be a Kha'Zix top and a Kassadin mid. Yeah. I strongly doubt that we'll see a Kassadin top lane, although, against a Malphite, it wouldn't be that bad.
Indeed, so those are going to be your lineups locked in for Fnatic: Jace, Nasus, Sona, Malphite, and Ahri. Lots of AoE engaged there from Malphite and Sona together. That's going to be crazy. Unstoppable crescendo coming through. Then for the other team, which is going to be Sinners Never Sleep, Graves, Kassadin, Hecarim, Kha'Zix, and finally Thresh. So very interesting comps coming right off the bat. But looking at those two compositions, Broken Shard, which one are you favouring?
I'm actually gonna have to favor Fnatic's team here. I feel that their engage and just their burst potential is so strong right now. The Malphite ult into follow up by the Sona and the Jace poke, and then the Ahri coming in. Is if they catch the key targets, because you know, Sinners of Asleep aren't that tanky. I mean, Kazakhs can get a little bit tanky. You know, Kassadin is not very easy to kill, but it seems that Fnatic B have the CC it takes for the Kazakhs and the Kassadin to drop in the team fights.
Alrighty then, guys. I think we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and when we get rejoined, we are going to be bringing you Game 3 between Fnatic and Sinners Never Sleep. So stay tuned, and we'll be back just in a couple minutes. Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome back here to game number 3 between Fnatic and Sinners Never Sleep. And we are right underway in the action with just 15 seconds gone. We were just talking there in the break, Broken Shard, about the two comps, and we're quite interested to see what comes out here. And we were saying that, you know, Fnatic have a really nice wombo combo team. You've got the Crescendo and Unstoppable Force engage from, obviously, Kazmich and Seth on Malphite and Sona, but for Sinners Never Sleep, you have a really nice single target nuking system in place with Kassadin and Kha'Zix. If they can get in the back line, someone can pop instantly. It's
So
quite
see
scary.
Fnatic kind of running up, and the horse just galloping away. He does not want to turn into a hamburger. You know, that joke will never die. But what I really like about here is that Fnatic have kind of two options. They can either group up together and get completely destroyed by the Thresh box, the Graves QR combo, and the Hecarim, or they can split up and get picked off individually by the Ahri and Kassadin. So if if Kha'Zix or Kassadin get fed, this is going to be really, really bad for Fnatic, because all Sinners Never Sleep have to do is just stick apart, like spread each other out as much as possible, so that if Fnatic want to combo their ultimates, they're only going to hit one person at all. We see Fnatic, they're kind of jumping over a ward, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Sinners Never Sleep have been renowned to have extremely good level 1 warding. And we see that, actually, it seems like there's going to be a swap. They're sending the Ahri down in the bot lane. The Jace and, oh, we see a lane in vain. Here comes the Kassadin. He will find them out, but what will he do? Will he manage to take the wolf? Will he get it? And no, he does not take the wolf. Taking a little bit of damage there, and, you know, he gets poked out of there. What do you have to say about that, Menace?
Well, it was a nice try, but it didn't quite work out, and Kassadin lost nearly half of his health, so it didn't really go too well. But it would appear that we are going to have a lane switch. Ahri at bot lane, with Rekkles in mid with Jace. So Rekkles against Kassadin is pretty painful. They
want to put the two, the bot lane versus the Kassadin, because they don't want him to snowball out of control.
Indeed,
so good for Nukeduck, who's also known as XD12345. He did pick up armor runes, so he's going to be able to defend himself, you know, quite well throughout this lane. We see some sort of invade coming out. Cyruscu taking that red, but Nunya creeping around right there. Cyruscu's level 2. He does not have his wither, but here comes Nunya pressing his Q. Will he manage to get it? No, he gets slowed, but he runs away. That red buff is so close to dying. Who will take it? And Cyruscu picks it up. That's a red buff denied from Hecarim. It's not too bad. Hecarim doesn't really need the red buff. He's really, really content with just farming his jungle, though that buff advantage for Nasus is going to give him a huge experience advantage. And if Nasus hits level 6 first, that ultimate is going to be killer in taking out big team fights or even an early Drake.
But it just shows the awareness there and the communication of Fnatic. Kazmich instantly coming up to red to help his comrade out. So, had he not been there, you know, Hecarim, I'm pretty sure, would have crushed Nasus. But having Sona alongside him just helped him to secure that red buff steal. So
yeah,
nice
I wouldn't say crushed him, but I'm pretty sure he would have been able to contest this buff properly. Yeah. I mean, Nasus and Hecarim are both not exactly the most powerful level 1 champions. But you had Nasus with a red buff, who's not really a really strong auto attack champion, versus a Hecarim with a blue buff, with that cooldown reduction. There's just so much that he can do with that blue buff, it's unreal. We see him hit level 3 now. He's kind of galloping around, not knowing what to do. He's just going to go to his wolves. Let's take a look at this bot lane. I mean, Hawkdawn is still level 1, and we actually might see a dive going on here. There is a teleport on the Malphite, but the ward goes down by Phaler. The Q goes on by Hawkdawn. He's doing a really good job of clearing the waves. At least getting it low so that his tower doesn't take as much damage. And let's take a look here. We have a 2000 HP turret on Hawkdawn side versus a 1300 HP turret on Fnatic. I mean, Fnatic are taking it low. I actually really like this because at worst, you know, Fnatic lose a bot turret. But if you compare the bot turret, especially this early in the game, to the mid turret, that mid turret is so much better. And Hawkdawn gets dived upon. Nunya gets pulled in, and he will actually go down, but he picks up first blood. Phaler gets slowed, and he has to flash away. Great ghost by Cyruscu getting there in really quickly. Overall, it was a kill for a kill. First blood was picked up by the Hecarim, so actually that's going to give him a nice gold advantage, but Ahri was able to pick up a kill in the return.
Yeah, plus the 2 assists as well, of course, that Graves and Thresh got themselves. So it's pretty nice overall there for Sinners Never Sleep. And in the meantime, you're going to have Nasus coming down here, just cleaning some of the creeps up, getting some XP, and going back to his jungle.
Just want to make this obvious right now. This mid turret, it's 5 minutes and it's at 180 HP. It's forced Hecarim to have to come and help clear the waves. But when you look at this, Kassadin started the game with 7 HP pots, and he's got none. No. Mid turret at 5 HP! Who wants to go and pick it off right there? First turret of the game is most likely going to go to Fnatic, and not just any turret, that's the mid turret. That's one of the most important turrets in the game. Monumentally strategic and important for objective control.
Yeah, but I mean, as you say though, the idea behind the lane switch there was just to shut Kassadin down, not allow him to steamroll and snowball ahead. He's not level 6 yet, he's still 5. And with the poke comp that Sona and Jace bring together, they are now going to be going on towards Nonya, who's trying to push himself back. Nasus from the side as well, does get the slowdown, but it's
no
not enough
mana
to pick up the kill.
I feel that Rekkles could have actually flashed behind him and eat him into the Sona exhaust. Would have resulted in the kill of that delicious little horse. But it was not meant to be because Rekkles was too busy spamming his spells to get that Kassadin low, and you can't really fault him for that. He needed to do that so he can get the turret. However, we see Kassadin is on 20 CS and Ahri is on 16, so Ahri not necessarily having the best time right now. I mean, yes, Fnatic did pick up a turret, but she's actually getting out CS'd.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, she did get a kill, obviously, and died, so she had to go back to spawn, but she is slightly behind Kassadin by 4 CS at the moment. Kassadin has managed to hit level 6 and is just going back to mid once again. Let's have a quick look at top lane. Haven't gave them too much love because not a great deal has gone down up there. Malphite 45 CS to Kha'Zix 44, so it's pretty much neck and neck at top lane.
I'm just sorry to interrupt you, but I really like this matchup because Malphite is one of those champions that kind of is like a little bit of a train. Same with Kha'Zix. They both start, you know, ramping up after they get some levels in their abilities. However, Kha'Zix is actually notoriously weaker than Malphite since he can't just eat onto him and start trading him like you can in mid lane. You know, he's not that squishy. The Malphite will turn around and smack you upside the head. Meanwhile, though, Malphite is going to get free farm, and when you get a free farm Malphite, you know, not only is he going to deal a lot of damage, but he's pretty much going to make your AD carry completely useless. And we didn't touch on this. I can't believe that we missed this. Metas, what's wrong with you, man? Malphite plus Nasus, anyone with attack speed is just going to get completely shut down.
Well, we do have some action here. Nonya has 3 players chasing after him. You do have Graves and the rest of his team starting to congregate around the same area. Jace picks up the first kill. You're going to have it engaged though. Back on towards Nasus now. Graves takes down Sona, gets knocked up into the air, should be going down very soon. Tabs, it's not long for this life. There we are. He has been taken down, and that will be a double kill from Jace. 3-3 overall, and just action all over the place.
The double kill and a blue invade. One thing that you should note, that Kassadin picked up a kill. When you start messing around and not taking care of your shit, Kassadin starts picking up kills, and then, you know, all hell breaks loose. But Rekkles jumps on the Phaler! The flash is a taunt! Will he pick him up? Phaler using his lantern just to save him! Saf running away from that Kassadin, keeping him busy. Really, really good job by Rekkles. Picking up another kill onto the Ahri. Ahri is 2-1. She's starting to get fed, which is actually really good. But I think that was just more of a misstep from Phaler than a good play from Fnatic right there. He should not have been so close when there was no one to help him. Kassadin was really low on mana, but, you know, they really wanted that blue buff.
And on top of that, that's the second buff that's been stolen away from Hecarim. He had his red buff stolen from Nasus, and now his blue buff stolen from Jace. So, not necessarily the happiest of times for him, plus the extra kill.
He's not hit 6 yet. Nasus is actually further behind him in experience because he's been giving camps to his team. So, not necessarily the best way to use his advantage, but I guess, you know, you are what you are. You are the jungler, you are kind of the punching bag for your team. You have to you're expected to sacrifice your own farm to better the team, and that's something that you should have to expect to come out from a team like Fnatic. They understand their roles and they understand who needs to farm. I actually really like that because they're allocating CS to the most important member, which is Rekkles, who's sitting on 70 right now. However, everywhere else, we see Fnatic kind of getting out-farmed. I mean, Sona getting out-farmed by Thresh by 1 CS. Oh no, now the CS is even. You know, Sona picking up that kill. 30 CS onto Nasus to 33 on Hecarim. 73 on Kha'Zix to 54 on Malphite. And Kassadin ahead 12 CS to the Ahri. Now we kind of see lanes, you know, going back to the regular. They have the mid turret down for Fnatic, and you know, this Kassadin is going to be poking Hawkdawn, and I just fear that Hawkdawn is not going to have anything to do with this Kassadin. He won't be able to kill him at any given point, unless XD really missteps at any given point.
Yeah, so the mid tower has been taken down from Fnatic, and that's why Rekkles and Kazmich have gone back towards bot lane, reassuming the 2v2 battle. Graves, Thresh, how are they doing at the moment? 1-1 and 2 on Graves, 81 CS, Rekkles is 76, who has 2-0 and 1, so fairly even overall. But we are now going to see Hecarim coming in towards the bot lane. Crescendo has landed on both Tabs, and also We Will Phaler. You're going to have a Lantern coming in, and the pull as well. Hecarim ultimate on top of it. Rekkles goes down very, very quickly, but can Nasus turn the tables? The hunters become the hunted. We Will Phaler does get dropped finally. Now going to be switching on towards Tabs. You also have Hecarim in the
but here
meanwhile,
comes Kassadin and Ahri.
Yeah, Kassadin and Auri are also going to be coming down, but just a couple love taps, nothing too serious, and the action will fall away. But that was an AD carry for support exchange overall at bot lane.
That was a pretty crazy fight, actually, my friend.
Oh,
Looked pretty intense.
they're coming back in again for seconds. Well, I say that, Kassadin jumped in and then walked away again, so a bit of an anti-climax. But yeah, I mean, Kassadin, with his tower being down, he may feel pressured to just kind of just roam more and try and, instead of worrying about the middle tower, just being like, okay, my middle's down, I'll just get kills for top and bottom as much as I possibly can and allow Graves to snowball.
What I really like, though, is that he followed Ahri down, and if he probably didn't, because if you didn't know, he actually slowed the Ahri as she exit the tri-bush, the tri-bush into the middle of the lane. If she wasn't slowed, and Tabs was actually just entering the second lane bush, if she wasn't slowed, I was pretty sure that Hawkdawn could use 2 of his, Spirit Rushes just to get that charm on, and if he had done that, that would be 1 dead Graves.
Well, we can see Failer taking down the ward coverage on Drake. It is back up, of course, and well, it's quite interesting here, Ram, because we've got a bit of a lull in the action. Only 200 gold separates the two teams. What do you see coming out here? Do you think Drake is going to be the next huge point of contention between these two teams?
I'm surprised that no one has actually moved for it. When I play Nasus, especially when I play Nasus, I always aim to get that pink ward the second I hit level 6, because I'm just gonna pop my ultimate and start soloing that Drake like it's creamed corn, because I love creamed corn. But what I really like now is that Zora Zero picked up his Brutalizer and his tier, but he's moved, and he's only level 9. The Kha'Zix doesn't really start picking up until maybe level 11, until he gets both of his abilities. And just like on cue, almost as if they're listening to me speak, they're popping the ults, they're getting that Drake down, and look at it just go. They picked it up. I would like to see Fnatic disengage from this as quickly as possible.
Oh, the Hecarim ultimate goes on, hits 3 or 4 players. Graves is going to find the collateral damage, going right down the middle. So many players on a slither of health. We do see the first kill going down. Sona onto Kha'Zix. And are they going to be chasing after any more players? Hecarim is
we got the combo coming out. Will he pick it up? Wow! Someone give Rekkles a cookie because he's a sniper.
That was pretty tasty stuff. And I think Failer's just face palming. He's like, dude, aimbot, report him. That was pretty tasty.
Getting dropped really low, but I cannot believe that no one on Fnatic ended up dying there. I mean, once Graves' collateral damage came out, I thought it was just pretty much over. You know, I thought that the team fight was lost for Fnatic. You saw how low they all were.
It hit pretty much everybody as well. It went right down the middle of the fight. I just thought, okay, Graves has popped his collateral damage. We're now going to see Fnatic start to drop like flies, but it just wasn't the case. And that's a testament to their play. They were all kind of maneuvering around, covering each other's backs and focusing well. And then, of course, Rekkles comes in at the end and he's just like, okay, I'm going to snipe you from long range. Goodbye, Thresh.
One thing to note is that Weevil Failure didn't actually use his ultimate that team fight. I mean, without that box, it's going to be really difficult for him to do much aside from, you know, pick someone off with his death sentence, but not using that box is a pretty big mess up in my opinion for that team fight. Maybe he wasn't in a good position, maybe he wasn't really close enough, or he got dropped way too low before he could do it. But I feel that that's one big mess up that shouldn't be happening, especially in a 1-1 game right now.
It's definitely a huge advantage having the box, but Ahri was waiting around in the top bush, was thinking about a gank onto Kha'Zix, but instead they just like to push this down a tiny bit. However, you do have Kassadin moving in.
I think Kassadin likes to stalk Ahri because everywhere she goes, he just seems to pop up right there. That's incredible movement from Nukeduck right there, knowing exactly where he needs to be in order to defend his team from the ganks of Ahri.
Well, we do have Kassadin going to top with Kha'Zix going to try and push this lane, deny some creeps, and put some damage onto top tower, considering it only has 250 health points remaining. Kassadin does get himself in towards the tower range and takes it down. Meanwhile, Kha'Zix going to push the lane, and Ahri going back to mid, so not a great deal happening right now, just a bit of farming frenzy.
Just want to make a little bit of an announcement. It seems that Eternity, even though they were in a lead, actually dropped a game to Meet Your Makers. The game is now 1-1, Meet Your Makers to Eternity Gaming. So we might see a quite close series. You can catch that on Chaos TV 2, the second English stream, if you'd rather watch Meet Your Makers and Eternity battle it out. But right now, we got pretty intense game going on between Fnatic and Sinners Never Sleep.
Absolutely. Also in the third game, 1-1 right now. 7-4 is your scoreline with one tower apiece dropping, but a 1.6k gold advantage to Fnatic. Riftwalk onto Ari, putting down a bit of pain, but nothing too serious to write home about. Meanwhile, at bot lane, surprise, surprise, the poke-centric...
Uh-oh, we see a teleport coming in, completely out of the reach, but here comes Rekkles going in really aggressive. The E, the flash from Phaler. Tabs goes fucking high in the air, excuse my language. The Sona ult, and wow, everything was used for Tabs there. And excuse my language because he just flew up high. That flash ult from Sap picked them off extremely well.
To be fair, though, it was an accurate description. He did indeed go high in the air. And died soon afterwards.
Excuse my language, wow, that just slipped out. I get too excited sometimes.
Well, either way, mission accomplished as far as Fnatic are concerned. Taking down the AD carry. Rekkles now going to be poking once again with, of course, the Shock Blast and the Acceleration Gate combo. Bottom tower falls, and they're now going to be putting some serious pressure on that second tier tower. They don't want to push too far, though, because they realize there are at least 3 players around that area, and so they will pull back. Meanwhile, top lane, still pretty much a farming frenzy. Other than, you know, Ari and Kassadin lurking around there, not a great deal's happened at top.
The second that popped on stream, so many people just sent me messages, just like Lamo, ha ha ha, laughing about that moment. I'm still laughing about it a little bit too. Oh. Anyway,
it just kind of slipped out.
It slipped out in the moment, but you know, let's take a look at that. That's another kill pickup for Fnatic, and another tower pickup, and we see them now with a 2.6k gold lead. It seems that they're starting to really start riding the driver's seat for control this game, and it looks like they're starting to pick up the kills that they need on the people that they need.
Yeah, Jace 4-1-3. 140 CS, looking very scary. Just finished off his Bloodthirster, has a Brutalizer and a Tear of the Goddess to boot. Bot lane, we are going to have 3 players pushing. Nonia, Phaler, and Tabs on this bot tower. Only has about 600 HP remaining. Going to go down very, very quickly. Sona's not going to be able to hold that onslaught by herself. And again, they're going to take their objective and pull themselves back to safety.
Good group up by Sinisterously, picking up an objective that they so desperately needed.
Yep.
Hecarim actually picking up a Locket of the Iron Solari to mirror Nasus' one, but he seems to have actually a quite high gold lead over this Nasus.
Let's have a look. Hecarim 4,750, Nasus 4,200. So indeed, he's got about a 500 gold lead. And looking pretty good so far, has to be said. 8-4 the overall score. In terms of the team difference, though, it's currently 3.6 ahead. Sorry, not 3.6. 1.5 ahead now for Fnatic. So looking pretty good, but again, Ram, it's a very, very close game. It's still too close to call.
Absolutely, and then we just saw Nasus pop his ultimate and just take that Drake to town, bought it dinner, and then took it back home for some Night of Lovin' right there with that ultimate. That's actually one thing that people have been talking about. It's another reason why Diamond likes to pick up Nasus, is because his team provides so much control over that river area at level 6. You know, that's really good to the pause because they were doing some action, and I kind of wanted to talk about this. They get the pink ward. Nasus hits 6, and since they have so much control over him, over that area, Diamond is just able to walk up to that Drake, press R, and take it down.
Yeah, I mean, that's another Drake, isn't it? I think that's the second that Fnatic have got so far.
Yeah, that's the second Drake. It shows that it's generally the team with Nasus, they have the really, really strong Drake control. And we see this happening right now. So it looks like people are talking about a BRB for 2 minutes. Someone disconnected. I'm not sure who. It seems that Cyruscu disconnected. And let's take a look at Rekkles' items. He's picked up, you know, pretty classic, well, actually, pretty classic Jason Kha'Zix items. The tier is getting stacked up. It's currently at 620. The Brutalizer possibly into a Black Cleaver and that Bloodthirster just so he can get that poke. So, you know, I actually see some people go Infinity Edge on Jace AD because when you start pressing that W into the late game and you get 3 crits in a row, it starts really melting people. Could that be something that we see, you know, an Infinity Edge on the Jace?
I think it's possible, but the fact he already has a Brutalizer, I'd expect it to be in Black Cleaver first. But well, it's
definitely melting the Black Cleaver. You know.
Sorry, you know what I mean though. Black Cleaver, I would expect to be seeing next anyway. So I just feel like overall, Jace probably isn't going to be going for an Infinity Edge. It's possible, but I doubt it. But if you have a quick look at Graves, he's currently got a Bloodthirster, and he's building towards what looks like a Zeal. So, the two AD carries, you have to say right now, Jace is doing a lot more damage.
Yes, also because he's 7,400 gold to Tabs is 5,700 gold. There's a lot of gold on this AD carry. Like, if we just take a look at the gold now, Jace is at 7,400, Graves at 5,700, Nace is at 4,500, Hecarim at 4,800. He's actually leading. Ahri on 5,600, Kassadin on 4,800, Malphite 5,500, Kha'Zix 5,600. So the jungler and the mid lane for Sinners, excuse me, the jungler and the top lane for Sinners Never Sleep actually have a considerable amount more gold than their counterparts. Whether or not this is going to turn into something big late game, because I'd assume that Fed Kha'Zix is going to be something that they're going to fear late game. I'm not really sure it's on the right people. It needs to be on Tabs, it needs to be on Kassadin more so than it needs to be on Kha'Zix or Hecarim.
So going forward into the mid game now, which we're starting to get towards, which of the two comps are you starting to fancy to stop breaking away? Because we said before, the wombo combo potential from Fnatic is fairly massive. Having said that, though, you do have a Kassadin and a Kha'Zix who are very slippery. They're going to be jumping around at the back line. They're going to be destroying people very, very quickly. How do you see this going?
I'm not really sure. I think that Fnatic are still just going to be able to walk right through the enemy team. The Malphite and Nasus have been to a point where... is it... Okay, I just start going, like, tripping balls over this. Is it Nasus or Nasus?
Personally, I'd say Nasus. I would say Nasus, because if it had... I've always thought if people say Nasus shouldn't have a Y in it somewhere, or an I.
It's like a Shaco or a Shaco.
Yeah, I would say... Actually, that's interesting, because I would say Shaco, but I guess that's just... You know, now you said that, it's blown my mind.
Okay.
It's blown my mind.
So,
okay, let's switch it to the chat then. How would they say it? Would you do Nasus, which is option 1?
People are aiming towards Nasus.
Nasus, okay.
There. Okay, I'm sorry. Nasus, excuse me. I was always under the impression that it was Nasus. Apparently Freak tricked me. He told me it was Nasus. Thanks, Freak. But Nasus. But the Nasus and the Malphite have just become points where they're so fed that Sinners Never Sleep don't really have the damage to put on him, which is unfortunate. But people actually ask for, stacking, so Graves' Bloodthirster has now 26 extra AD, he needs 4 to max it. Reckless has 13 extra AD, he needs 17 to max it. Nace's Q is plus 99, so he got 33 last hits on his Q. While Reckless's Tear of the Goddess is at 620 bonus mana, Kassadin's is at 340, and Kha'Zix Mana Immune is at 284. So Sinners Never Sleep really, really far away from filling up that tier. Reckless just about to finish it. How do you think that's going to make a difference in this late game? If Reckless can pick up that Muramana, which by the way now does physical damage, not magical, so if you have armor penetration, you're going to upgrade the damage of the Muramana's passive. Do you think that getting that Muramana so much earlier than the other team is that going to help him out more? Or do you think it's going to be a huge difference in power, like a huge power spike for Reckless?
I think it's going to obviously be a big advantage, but I don't see it making him an unstoppable killing god, because I think the kind of idea behind Fnatic, I should say, is that they're going to try and poke a bit and then engage like hardcore. So, for example, I think Jace is going to fire through Shock Blasts a couple times, going to have Sona just basically being a nuisance. And then the great thing about the Nasus and Malphite combo as well, other than the fact that it's like slow central for AD carries, but Nasus basically gives Malphite's Unstoppable Force a Heat Seeker, because he can just slow somebody. And as soon as he slows them, Malphite can go straight in and smash them all up in the air, as you said before, really high, you know what I mean? So he can really engage hardcore. So I'm thinking Jace, obviously it's going to give him an advantage, but I feel like Fnatic are probably going to wait for that perfect moment to use their wombo combo and try and clean up afterwards with Ahri just going crazy.
Well, you just gave me a huge, really, really cool image on my head right now, is that once the Nasus Wither goes on there, it's going to be like beep boop, target acquired from the Malphite, and he's just going to run right through the enemy team and pound up that guy. Probably the Graves, actually. Graves or Kha'Zix, most likely.
Because as soon as the Wither's on you, your movement speed is so slow. It's unless you have a flash or unless you time the quick draw to perfection, from a Graves point of view, obviously, the Malphite is going to crush your face. He is just going to fly in there, balls to the wall, then you're going to have the crescendo afterwards, the unstoppable crescendo, as I said before, like the 1-2 combo on top of Wither. There's very little you can do to get rid of that. The only good news, though, for Sinners Never Sleep in that respect, is if they focus somebody like a Kassadin or a Kha'Zix, they both have nice escape tools. Like, Kha'Zix can just jump over a wall and he'll be okay. Kassadin's very similar. However, by doing that, they're putting themselves in an awkward position. They can't really do a lot of damage if they're jumping out of dodge. So I think it's really going to come down to the execution of these team fights, as we see so often in League of Legends. You can have the greatest plans ever, but if your execution is slightly off, it can backfire and you can end up losing. So I'm hoping from Fnatic's perspective they can land the wombo combo, and at the same time, because I'm completely unbiased, I'm just enjoying the action, I'm hoping that Sinners Never Sleep can pull off some ridiculous nuking capabilities with their Kha'Zix Kassadin combo.
For the first time casting with you, I think we've casted maybe 15 or 16 games together, that's the first time I've ever seen you go on a huge rant like that.
Well, I guess I'm a pretty passive, chilled guy most of the time.
And you know, this is not the first time that someone in chat has called you Joe Miller.
I get called Joe Miller all the time. Like, I'm flattered that people think I sound like him because he's an awesome caster, but honestly, I'm not even in the same league as Joe. We're just both from the north of England. That's the only similarity.
He's like the funniest guy in real life. He's the most hilarious guy. I don't think I've met someone who could make me laugh just by giving me a look.
Yeah, he's awesome. But I'm not Joe Miller. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. We're both from the same area of the UK. That's about it.
Anyway, so let's get another TSM chant going in the DAT. That seems like a lot of fun. So 3, 2, 1, TSM, TSM.
How's the chat looking?
That should keep him busy for some time.
Yeah, what's quite strange is they were like, yeah, be right back 2 minutes. 10 minutes later, we still have no idea what's going on. I've heard a couple things of DDoS flying around there from Sinners Never Sleep, which I'm really hoping is not the case. I think you had a problem with that before, didn't you, Ram?
Yeah, I was DDoSed earlier. I had to do some huge work on my internet just to get it to work again. And on cue, the chat goes wild with TSM. We're just trying to keep you guys entertained while we wait for this game to go on. Seems that someone was getting DDoSed. Maybe some restarting the router. It's gonna take a while. The rules state that you have to have 15 minutes per team. 15 minutes of pause time per team. After that time, you're gonna have to unpause.
Yeah.
That's the rules.
And just to give you a bit of background information, guys, because obviously we do have a massive pause here. If you have just joined us, this is the EU Challenger Series #1. I'm Metis, and the lovely guy alongside me is Broken Shard, who actually, it was his vision that's made this come to fruition, basically, alongside Chaos TV. We have 8 teams in total in this tournament today. Alternate have already gone through, beating Game Gear 2-0. I believe Eternity and Meet Your Makers are still playing. It's 1-1, isn't it, Broken?
1-1, yeah.
This obviously is Fnatic B versus Sinners Never Sleep. The score right now is 1-1. And finally, Asuba and Roughnecks, we casted a couple of games on. It was 1-1 when we left that, but I'm not entirely sure if that has finished just yet. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what is going down.
So I guess, you know, if you guys didn't know who I am, my name is Broken Shard. People seem to be asking a lot on chat. I'm actually the sub from Dragonborns, the former jungler. Just to clarify, because people kept asking it in chat, and I wasn't really able to answer that all the time. And yes, I do sound like Skara. I know I sound like Skara, but I'm not Skara. I am just a jolly fat guy like he is too, who loves to smile.
It's weird, because I'd never thought you sound like Skara until you said it, and I was like, oh yeah, you do kind of.
There. It's there.
It is there.
So, is this the Broken Shard AMA?
Oh my god, people apparently like it's Joe Miller and Sora. Sorry, no.
It's the Broken Shard fucking AMA. I think I'm gonna have to live with that now, that new nickname, because it slipped out there. Oh god.
Dude, it was high though. You can't deny. No one watching the stream can deny it was high. Graves got mega high.
Yeah, he got some real air on that. He just like was phew on the freaking Sky. Excuse fucking Sky. Excuse me.
Well, I'm really trying hard, guys, to figure out what's going on here because they're spamming the most random, like 100 push-ups out of nowhere. I'm just like,
Can't
what?
fit with Stupe. Oh god. Let's do some push-ups. Come on, let's do some push-ups, man. Get fit with Snoopy.
Hashtag get fit with Snoopy. I'm so buffed in real life, says Saf.
Fight me IRL. While we plug in, what's your Facebook, Metis? So people know how to follow you. Facebook and Twitter.
I don't really use Twitter. I think I have it at some point, but I don't use it. I assume it's Twitter/MetisTV. My Facebook is MetisTV at the end.
So
How about you,
anyone
though?
here who wants to follow Joe Miller, who isn't actually Joe Miller, you know,
Yeah.
listen to him. His Facebook is about to get plugged in just now and going to be put in chat. Go ahead and like him. He's a great caster. I personally love casting with Metis. He's one of my favorite people to cast with. And this isn't the first time we've casted together. We've casted, didn't we cast the Chaos Vengeance Cup?
I think so. My memory's shocking, and that was like a year ago.
And the Medion one as well, right?
The median, yeah, we did
Yeah,
definitely.
we definitely
do
did
that
the
one.
median together.
And I have to apologize if my casting's been rusty, guys, but I haven't casted in over half a year, so that's the reason why I may suck at times. So I'm slowly but surely trying to turn the engine and get back to previous form. But it's a lot of fun. It's been a blast, Ram. Other than the fact that we've had massive delays and now this huge pause.
It seems like
It has been a lot of fun.
things are starting to get, work out together. Everything is starting to fall into place. Teams are starting to get wins on. Games are getting done. We're starting to get the games underway, and we're starting to be able to actually cast them. But just to let everyone know, this isn't the only game that you can watch. There's an MYM versus Eternity game going on right now on www.twitch.tv/ChaosTV2. Go give the other casters some love. They're great guys. I mean, I've casted with them and I've talked to them too. Go give them some love. I'll repeat. We're going to put it in chat as well. www.twitch.tv/ChaosTV2. Go ahead and check that out because that game is looking hella close right now.
Yeah, and if you're a native Dutch speaker or Czech speaker, we also have those streams kicking off as well. So there's plenty of stuff to choose from, guys. You don't have to sit here, although if you do, that's very nice and we enjoy your company. But if you'd like to scoot on over to another game and watch that as it's live, feel free to do so. It's all the same to us. So I think there's talk of draws in the chat here, Broken. I don't know what your take on that is, because obviously you kind of came up with the rule set yourself. But they're talking about should we remake, that kind of stuff. So why don't you talk us over the tournament rules? What is the stating here if the pause goes down to 0 minutes? As I say that, Nasus just reconnected.
That's a huge problem. And now Nasus just reconnected. It looks like we might be going back under game. And just in the nick of time, Fnatic have 30 seconds left on that pause right there.
There we go. It has been unpaused, guys. I'm ready to go live once again. 8-4 to scoreline. I'm going to quickly switch to blue buff.
A little bit of a glitch there, but we see the steal from Tabs!
He's been waiting. Here comes the box though from Thaler. They're going to go back in. Nice ultimate from Hecarim. Crescendo goes down, catches everybody. And now they're going to be trying to turn this one back on towards Kassadin. Although he's trying to pull away. In the meantime, though, Hecarim is going to be chasing down Sona, pulling themselves back once again. Kassadin on no health. Ari on no health. Who's going to take down who first? Here comes Kassadin, and he will shut down Ari.
Wow. Just a great team fight from Sinners Never Sleep. They picked up kills with the most important members. And you want to know why they won that team fight? Because they didn't have that extra set of CC from Malphite. It seems that they're kind of piggybacking on that huge disruption from Malphite in order to pick up kills. And now that we saw how much they relied on that, I think Sinners Never Sleep actually realize now that they rely on it so much. Sinners Never Sleep are actually going to be able to take team fights off them now that they know that they can't fight without Malphite.
Yeah, really, really nice stuff. And Fnatic probably feeling a tiny bit sore there. Kassadin so nearly died, comes back in with the Rift Walk, takes down Ari, and now has regained his position in mid. Going to clear out that wave. Meantime, Hecarim's going to recall, and you do see Malphite putting a lot of pain on the top tower, but Kha'Zix is close and hot in pursuit, and I think he's going to be able to stave off this top tower just for a little while longer.
He picked off quite a big bounty there, that Kassadin, picking up the kill on the Ari.
Yeah.
And when you get Kassadin kills, it's just going to be so much more difficult to shut down. Hawkdawn actually not doing that much damage. He picked up an Hourglass to protect himself, but I think he could have just gone better going for an Hourglass. Not Hourglass, a Deathfire's Grass straight up.
Well, we were saying before it looked pretty precarious for Kassadin. It wasn't going too well. Top tower, in the meantime, as I'm talking, is probably going to go down from Malphite. There we go. Taken down, courtesy of Saf. But we were saying, in lane, Kassadin had to go back, bought 7 health pots, used all of them, wasn't looking too good. But the important thing is, Ram, he started to run to bot lane, he's picked up kills at the right place at the right time, and now look at him, 3-0-1, looking very strong.
Sorry, I have to figure something out.
No problem. We are going to have 6 players now in mid, make that 7. And just looks like somewhat of a dance-off. No one really wants to commit here. You can see that Sinners Never Sleep just going to be happy to hide underneath their tower. Bit of poke coming down from Reckless on Jace. And in the meantime, Kassadin's actually pushing bot lane. Going to start to put some damage on towards mid. But again, it's going to be damage. I don't think they're going to pick this one up. Kassadin has just been pushed back from Malphite. Are you back, Broken?
Yeah, I'm just dealing with some like admin issues. Someone having some issues with the rule. So we see a still kind of a steady 2k gold lead for Fnatic right here, doing some pretty good work against Sinners Never Sleep. But it's kind of got into a lull. I'd like to see Fnatic kind of start grouping up and start pushing towers and poking them with their supreme poke from the Jason, Ahri, and Sona.
Well, here we go. Again, 8 players congregating around the mid-second tower for Sinners Never Sleep. Kassadin coming round from the side. Rift walking through the wall. Needs to be careful. Malphite ultimate is available. Sona ultimate is also available. So if they can pick that pixel perfect timing, you could definitely see an engage kicking off here very shortly. Again, they're going to be harassing the mid tower down. Very little that the purple team can do about this. And again, Fnatic take down yet another tower. 2 tower lead now. And that goal difference edging ahead to 3k in favour of Fnatic. Now going to be pushing on towards the inhib tower. Death Sentence did go out from Thresh. Unfortunately for him, didn't connect.
Did not clip on anyone there. Kha'Zix in the meantime picking up his Manamune, Last Whisper, and Brutalizer. So all the armor that's actually being built on Fnatic right now is going to go nowhere with the Kassadin doing it. Sorry, not Kassadin, the Kha'Zix doing pretty much true damage. And we got another pause here. Though Fnatic don't really have much time for their pause.
Well, I wonder if it's Serescu again here who's having problems on Nasus. Apparently, the DDoS is strong.
They have another 5 seconds left on their pause.
So what happens here if they do go over their allotted time? Do they forfeit the game?
They have to start playing again. I mean, that's the rules. Right now, they're eating away from Sinners Never Sleep pause time. Now, if one of them gets DDoS, they deserve the full 15 minutes, you know?
Yeah, indeed. So, it was Nasus, again, that disconnected, Serescu. So, it's difficult here, because you have to really feel sorry for Fnatic. You know, twice one of their players has been DDoSed. Even when he's reconnecting to the game, I can imagine he's lagging really bad. So, it's not looking too good for them. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, for obviously ourselves, the players, and the audience that this pause isn't going to take too long. But obviously, we have no idea how long this pause will take.
Just gonna settle this right now.
Yeah. Failer is typing in all chat, basically saying that if we DC when the time runs out, we get no pause. So the admin said that we need to start. I mean, this game has been rife with delays and problems. If you joined us recently or even an hour ago, you wouldn't have known that the first game was actually forfeited from Sinners Never Sleep because they were late. Then we had delays before the second game started, then we had spectator problems, and now here we are with one of their players being DDoSed. It has been one of those kind of games, ladies and gents, where everything that could go wrong can go wrong, and does indeed go wrong, and we're having pauses and unpauses, and I have no idea what's happening. Again, pause and unpause.
I mean, yeah, Sinners Never Sleep, they did delay the games incredibly long, but they gave up a win for it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, they couldn't. That was like one win, fair and square, and Fnatic are actually now breaking the rules.
Well, I don't really understand what's happening. We're
It
having
looks like
players
people,
quitting.
Fnatic forfeit.
So Fnatic are forfeiting. So after a 1-0 lead to Fnatic because of the delay that Sinners Never Sleep made, in their credit, they came back to win game number 2, and now due to some technical problems on Fnatic's side, they're actually going to claim the win 2-1. Obviously, no one wants to see a win come about this way, but unfortunately that's the way it's going to have to be, and congratulations to Sinners Never Sleep for going through 2-1 against Fnatic.
It's the rules. I mean, rules are rules. You get 15 minutes for a pause. If the other team gets DDoS now, and they don't get 15 minutes, that's not fair as well. They were late. Yeah, they were late 40 minutes, and they gave up a win for it. They gave up one win to Fnatic. That's the rules. I mean, we agreed that you wasted this much time. They forfeit after 10 minutes delay, by the way. Just to let you know, after 10 minutes of not being there, they forfeit. Not after 40 minutes, after 10 minutes. And then they had time to prepare themselves for the next game, which was agreed by the rules. You get one game every 40 minutes because we're expecting a 2-hour best of 3. That's pretty much just it. Game is over, pretty much.
Yep, so at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, Fnatic do bow themselves out, and Sinners Never Sleep do progress through to the second round of the EU Challenger Series. Let's have a quick look-see and see who they're going to be facing. I'll quickly refresh the brackets page. And it would seem that Asuba and Roughnecks have not yet finished their game. So it'll be Sinners Never Sleep against either Asuba or Roughnecks. Can we quickly jump into that game and catch the end? Bass,
let's probably
able to
catch
jump
the
in?
Meet Your Makers game. I'd like to catch that one, unless... Are they out of game?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm cool with anything.
Seems that Meet Your Makers are not in game anymore. Or they've all removed me from friends list. No, it seems that they're all out of game, but I don't have them. Maybe they all went offline.
Well, I can see that Pulse, who is our English streamer number 2 caster, is spectating right now. So I'm going to quickly join him through Spectator and see if they are indeed playing or if they're out of game. And see what's happening here. Yeah, he's spectating the Meet Your Makers Eternity game.
Guys, listen. You can't give this type of attitude towards the team. Yes, they were late. Okay, we all agreed. We waited 40 minutes. Okay, they gave up a win. They forfeit. Nothing happened to them. They gave up a 1-win lead to Fnatic in a best of 3. Rules are rules. 15-minute pause each team. Fair, half and half. That's how it works. No questions asked. Fnatic got DDoSed. Okay, that sucks. It happens. I got DDoSed too. We waited 15 minutes. They came back. They get paused again. Now what happens if Weevil Failure gets DDoSed and they don't have any pause time? Will they be forced to play 4v5? Rules are rules, and you shouldn't be flaming Failure for no reason. There's no reason to do that. That's all there is. DDoSing isn't fair. This is what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. All right, I'm gonna make a one-time exception to this. Fnatic are not dropped out of the tournament. They get a direct seeding into next week. They don't have to requalify. Fnatic B get a direct seeding into next week's tournament without having to requalify because of the DDoS.
They haven't bribed you by any chance, right?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
That's how it works.
No, that's good. You know.
Because they got DDoSed and this happened, they get a direct seeding into the next prize purse and they don't have to requalify.
But
That's how it is.
Vince, are you in Pulse's game?
I was trying to, and then I got a bug error, so gonna try again.
I will give it a shot as well. Which game is Chaos TV, aka Pulse and Hexit, streaming at the moment? Is that the MYM game?
Yeah, Meet Your Makers against Eternity.
Okay.
It's the 3rd game, I believe.
Okay. If I click like spectate game, oh, there it goes. Gonna give it a shot to join that as well.
Can they hear you at the moment, by the way?
Yes, they can. They can.
Okay, I was gonna say they might think I'm just crazy talking to myself.
Like, well, I could, I could, you know, mute myself and make you sound all crazy.
Well, you are a massive troll.
Yes.
So it wouldn't surprise me if you did that at some point.
That is entirely true.
Do it.
Someone here behind me, one of the admins, is saying, "Do it." So I am actually in the game right now. So whenever you want to, or whenever you are in, because you bug split them.
Yep.
So. What is
I
the
am
current
on-
score of MIM versus Eternity for
It's
anyone?
1-1.
1-1. Okay.
Yep. Oh, we are in the game here actually. And only 14 minutes have passed, so we're in for a bit of a treat. An interesting